Hello friends, Megan here.
And I'm Jessie.
Jessie, what are you working on?
Oh, this is the official Koala Karate Squad Dojo Master's lair.
Cool.
I wanna quit. It's taking me forever to build this thing.
You can do it, Jessie. I'll help you.
I don't know, Megan. It's really hard.
Tell you what, why don't we hear a Bible story while we work on it? Today's Bible story is about God's people rebuilding the temple. And you know what?
What?
They wanted to give up too, but God helped them. Listen to this story. God's people were happy to be home. They had lived in Babylon for a very long time. But the king had let them go home. They walked all the way home to Jerusalem to rebuild God's temple. The people had started to work on the temple, but their neighbors said, "Stop building the temple." So God's people stopped. Building the temple was hard. Maybe God doesn't want us to build it, they thought. But God did want his people to finish the temple. God sent two prophets, Haggai and Zechariah, to talk to the people. Haggai and Zechariah said, "Keep building. God is with you." So God's people started to work on the temple again. The king of Persia ruled over the land where God's people lived. The king's name was Darius. Darius put a helper in charge of the land where God's people lived. The king's helper saw God's people working.
What?
He asked their leader, Zerubbabel, "Do you have permission to rebuild this temple?" "Yes," said Zerubbabel. The helper sent a letter to King Darius to find out if Zerubbabel was telling the truth. The helper's letter to the king said this: "Dear King Darius, the people here are working hard to build the temple to their God. They said King Cyrus said they could build. Please find out if this is true." King Cyrus had been king before Darius. When a king made an important decision, someone wrote it down on a scroll. So Darius looked for the old scroll. His servants found it. The scroll said, "Let God's people rebuild the temple." God's people had told the truth. King Cyrus had also said, "Help God's people pay for the temple. Give them money from the royal bank to buy supplies." So King Darius wrote a letter to his helper. He said, "Stay away from the workers at the temple. Do not bother them or try to stop them. Give them anything they need." The king's helper obeyed King Darius's order. God's people kept building, and soon the temple was finished. What a happy time! The people celebrated the Passover and thanked God. God's people rebuilt the temple so they would have a place to worship God. Years later, God sent his son, Jesus, to be with his people on earth. Jesus gave us something better than the temple. He gave us himself. Jesus is with us wherever we go.